To get your project schedule started, you create a new project file in Microsoft Project. Here's the no-frill way to do that. So I'm here in Project in the Backstage view, and I have the home screen displayed. All you have to do to create a new project is click the blank project button. That creates a new file. If you look up at the top of the screen, you'll see that the program names this file Project 1. If a project is already open, you can use a keyboard shortcut to create a new project. It's really fast. All you do is press Ctrl-N on the keyboard, and that creates a new project. In this case, it's called Project 2. Each new project that you create in a section gets a higher number than the last. Now let's go ahead and add some information to this project file. We're going to start with the project start date. So I'm going to click the Project tab and then click Project Information in the Properties section. In the Project Information dialog box, you have the Start Date box. The Start Date is for tasks without start dates or predecessors. So if you create a new task and don't give it a date or link it to something, it'll use this date. I'm going to change this date to April 12th, 2021. Also notice that the Schedule From box is set to project start date. So what that means is that the program is going to start everything from the start date and then use all of the information that you add to your project to calculate when the project can finish. That's all we need to add at this point. So let's go ahead and click OK to close the dialog box. Now we're ready to save the file. So I'm going to go up to the File tab and click Save. I'm going to add this to the Exercise Files folder. So I'm going to click that in the list of folders, and that opens up the Save As dialog box. I'm going to change the file name from Project 2 to Learning, but you could name it whatever you want. Then click Save. Now I've got my project saved with its project start date. From now on, the fastest way to save what you've done is to press Ctrl-S on the keyboard, or you can always go to the File tab and click Save. That's all it takes to create and save a new project. To schedule a project, you need to know how much your resources work and when. Calendars in Project define the days and times that people work. We're going to go to the Project tab. Then, in the Properties section, click the button Change Working Time. In the Change Working Time dialog box, the For Calendar box up at the top shows the calendar that the project uses. In this case, it's using the built-in standard calendar. This built-in calendar is set up to apply automatically to all new projects, although you can change it later if you want. It follows a common work schedule, so there's a good chance it will work for your organization. You can see that this is the project calendar for this project because it says Project Calendar in parentheses. Now let's go down to the bottom half of the dialog box and click the Work Weeks tab. This is where you can define the work weeks that you use. There's one default work week. It applies to all dates by default. That's why you can see NA in both the start and finish boxes. In the calendar up here at the top, you can actually see what this work week looks like. The white boxes represent the work days, and the shaded boxes are non-working days. So this is a Monday through Friday work week with Saturday and Sunday off. In addition, when you click one of the days, over on the right side, you can see the working times. So the standard work day is 8 to 5 with an hour for lunch. If you want to make changes, click the Details button over here on the right side of the dialog box. Then you can select a day in this dialog box and you'll see the work times. And you could change them if you want to. But in this case, this work week works for us, so I'm going to click Cancel to close that dialog box. Once you're more comfortable with the project, you can adjust your work week if it's different from what we have here. Now let's add a couple of holidays that could come up during our project. To do that, we're going to click the Exceptions tab. Exceptions are non-working by default, so all I have to do is name the holiday and the date. So we're going to start with Memorial Day, and the date for that is May 31st, 2021. I'm going to press Tab, and that will copy the date into the finish cell. That's all I have to do, so now I can go to the second row and add my second holiday. That's going to be Independence Day. When I click the Start cell, I'm going to put in the date, which is July 4th, 2021. And then when I press Tab, that will copy it to the finish date. So now I have my 2 holidays. We're done with the calendar, so I'm going to click OK to close the dialog box. One other thing you need to know about are calendar options. To see those, we're going to go to the File tab, and then down at the bottom of the navigation bar, click Options. You want to go to the Schedule category, and the first section is the calendar options for this project. What we're really looking at are the last 3, hours per day, hours per week, and days per month. These calendar options define the conversion between duration and work hours, so they have to match the default work week. So in this case, they do. We have 8 hours per day of work, 40 hours per week, and then 20 working days per month, approximately. We don't have to make any changes here, but if you change your default work week, don't forget to adjust these options to match. I'm going to click Cancel to close the dialog box. Finally, we're going to go back and click the Project Information button again. Notice that the calendar box here is set to the default standard calendar. If you set up another calendar to be your work calendar, this is where you apply the calendar for a project. So in this case, we're good to go. That's how you define working and non-working days and times and set the calendar for a project. If you're following along, add Labor Day 2021 as a holiday in the standard calendar.